Good morning, students. This is class 11th, subject chemistry, chapter 6, thermodynamics, lecture number 1. Topic of today's lecture is some basic terms and concepts. So we will start with general introduction. We know that most of the physical and chemical changes which we see around us are the energy changes. And energy changes may take place in the form of heat, light, work, electrical energy, etc. Now, one form of energy can be converted into another form. So, we can say that they are related to each other. So, here we will define thermodynamics, the branch of science which deals with the study of different forms of energy and the quantitative relationship between them is known as thermodynamics. Next is importance of thermodynamics. First one is it helps us to predict whether any given chemical reaction can occur under the given set of condition. Given set of condition means under the condition of pressure and temperature. So whether a reaction is possible or not, thermodynamics deals with that. Second point is it helps in predicting the extent of reaction before the equilibrium is attained. So it means that whether the reaction is 50% complete or 60% complete, 70% complete or 80% complete before the equilibrium point when concentration of reactant becomes equal to the concentration of product. You will understand this term better in next chapter. Okay. So it also helps in predicting the extent of the reaction. How much reaction has completed. Next is limitation. It helps to predict the feasibility of a process but does not tell anything about the rate at which the process takes place. Thermodynamics tells us whether a reaction is possible or not, but it does not tell anything about the speed of the reaction. Okay, we cannot say the speed of the particular reaction is this. So, it is unable to explain the rate of the reaction. That means speed of the chemical reaction. Second point is it deals only with initial and final states of a system but does not tell anything about the mechanism of the process. For example, when a reactant A converts into product B, then it does not tell anything about the mechanism, like how A reactant is converted into product B. So, it does not deals about the mechanism. Next point is it deals with the properties like temperature, pressure, etc. of the matter in bulk but does not tell anything about the individual atoms and molecules. Under thermodynamics, we study about the properties of atoms and molecules in bulk. Under thermodynamics, we do not study individual property of atoms and molecules. Next is some basic terms and concept. First one is system and surrounding. So what is system? System refers to the portion of universe which is under observation. For example, suppose this is a container and in this container water is present. Okay, so this is system because we are observing water, right? So water is system here and the rest of the part is known as surrounding. Okay, so this part is surrounding and water is system. So here system refers to the portion of universe which is under observation and surrounding everything else in the universe except system is called surrounding. Universe consists of system and surrounding. A system is separated from the surrounding by a real or imaginary boundary. So you can see that this is boundary which separates system and surrounding. Okay. So the object under observation is system and rest of the part is surrounding. Now next term is open, closed, isolated system. What is open system? A system is said to be an open system if it can exchange both matter and energy with the surrounding. For example, if some water is kept in an open vessel, So this is a container which is open from the upper part. So here water is present. So here exchange of matter and energy both can take place. So we will say that this is open system. So when we heat the container, then heat can be transferred in the container and water can be converted into vapors, and vapors can go in the surrounding. So there can be exchange of matter as well as energy. So this is the example of open system. This container is open from the upper part. Animals and plants are also example of open system. Next is closed system. If a system can exchange only energy with the surrounding but not matter, it is known as closed system. For example, if some water is placed in a closed metallic vessel, this is the closed metallic vessel and it is closed from the upper part. Then there will be no exchange of matter between the system and surrounding. But there will be exchange of energy because walls of the containers are conducting in nature. So there will be exchange of energy but not matter. So this type of system is known as closed system. If the reaction here is exothermic, that means it will give energy to the surrounding. Okay. So we can say that heat is given by system to the surrounding for the exothermic reaction. And if the reaction is endothermic, that means heat is absorbed. So that means heat is given by the surrounding to the system. So a system is said to be closed system when there is no exchange of matter but exchange of energy is possible. Next type of system is isolated system. If a system can neither exchange matter nor energy with the surroundings, it is called isolated system. For example, if water is placed in a vessel which is closed as well as insulated, then no exchange of matter or energy can take place between the system and surrounding. So we will say that the system is isolated. As the boundary of the system is insulated, so energy cannot exchange and the system is closed from the upper part, so there will be no exchange of matter as well. So a system can neither exchange matter nor energy with the surrounding. So this is the example of isolated system. We can give example from our daily life. When tea placed in thermos flask, then it is also an example of isolated system. Now next terms is state of a system and state variables. So what is state of a system? So state of the system means condition of the system. Conditions like the observable properties like temperature, pressure, volume. These are the state of the system. When we describe a system, then we describe it with some observable properties. Observable properties like temperature, pressure, volume. So these properties are state of a system. The first and last state of system are called initial state and the final state. For example, when we represent a system at initial stage by pressure, volume, temperature, then we will say that this is the initial state. But after some time, when we describe the system by stating the temperature, pressure and volume, then we will say that is the final state. Next is state function. A physical quantity is said to be the state function if the change in its value depends only upon initial and final state of the system and does not depend upon the path or route by which the change has been brought about. We will understand this with the help of one example. Suppose there is a person who is standing on a building, on a 5-floor building. Height of the building is fixed. So we will say that potential energy of that person is also fixed, irrespective of the fact whether he reached there by stairs or by the lift. Potential energy of that person is fixed because height of the building is fixed. That means potential energy of that person is not changing by the path taken by that person. On the other hand, the work done by the legs of the person to reach the same height is not same in the two cases, whether he went by lift or by stairs. Because work done is more when he used stairs and work done is less when he used lift. So work done depends on the path taken by that person. So we will say that work function is not a state function. Okay, work done is not a state function, but potential energy is the state function. Now I am again repeating the definition: a physical quantity which depends upon initial and final state of the system, irrespective of the path taken by the system. So example of state function are temperature, pressure, volume, enthalpy. Suppose temperature of a system at time 0 is T1 and at time 10 second temperature is T2. So it doesn't matter how we are changing the temperature. What is important here, that what is the initial temperature and what is the final temperature. That is why temperature is a state function. In the same way, pressure, volume and enthalpy and so on. So next one is macroscopic system and macroscopic properties. If a system contains a large number of chemical species, atoms, ions or molecules in it, then we will say that that is macroscopic system. Here macro means large number of, okay? Because thermodynamic does not deals with single atom or molecule, but it deals with the bulk molecules or atoms. So here we will describe the properties of macroscopic system like temperature, pressure, volume, density, melting point and boiling point. We can divide these properties into two parts. Okay. So first one is extensive properties. What are extensive properties? Those properties which depends upon the quantity of the matter contained in the system. For example, mass, volume, heat capacity, enthalpy and internal energy. If you will change the quantity, then what will happen? Mass will change, right? So it is mass is extensive property. In the same way, if you will change amount of a substance, then volume will be different. Okay. So these are extensive properties. Next is intensive properties. Intensive properties depends upon nature of the substance irrespective of the amount of the substance. For example, temperature, pressure, viscosity, density, surface tension, freezing point, boiling point or pH of a solution. Here we will understand it with the help of an example. Boiling point of water is 100 degrees Celsius, right? If you will take 100 ml of water, then boiling point of water will be 100 degrees Celsius. If you will take 200 ml of water, then still boiling point of water will be 100 degrees Celsius. So it doesn't depend upon the amount. It depends upon the nature. Okay. So between water and water molecule, intermolecular hydrogen bonding is present. That is why boiling point of water is fixed 100 degrees Celsius. So it depends on the nature of the substance. It does not depend upon amount of the substance. Okay. In the same way, viscosity of a particular liquid is fixed. It depends on the nature of the substance. It does not depend upon the amount of the substance. Now here there is an interesting point that mass and volume are extensive properties, right? Mass and volume depends on the amount of the substance, but mass by volume is equal to density, and density is a intensive property. That means density depends on the nature of the substance. So here there is a general rule that ratio of two extensive property is always intensive. Okay, so these two are extensive in nature. So mass by volume will be intensive in nature. Now next term is thermodynamic equilibrium. A system is said to be in thermodynamic equilibrium if its macroscopic properties like temperature, pressure do not change with time. When temperature, pressure conditions are constant, okay, same through the time, then we will say that this is thermodynamic equilibrium. Next is thermodynamics process. So here first one is isothermal process. Iso means same, therm means temperature. So when the process is carried out in such a manner that temperature remains constant or temperature remains same throughout the process, then we will say that process is isothermal. Okay. Now in order to keep the temperature same, heat can flow from the system to surrounding or heat can flow from surrounding to system so that temperature of the system remains constant or same. So this is first process, isothermal process. Second one is adiabatic process. In case of adiabatic process, no heat can flow from system to surrounding or from surrounding to system. Okay, so there will be no flow of heat. Now, heat is represented by small q. So here in case of adiabatic process, small q value will be equals to 0. So we will say that it is completely insulated. Okay, system will be completely insulated from the surrounding and this is known as adiabatic process. Now next type of process is isochoric process. Iso means same and core means volume. Okay, here core word is used for the volume. So it is a process during which volume of the system is constant. That process is known as isochoric process. Next type of process is isobaric process. Now bar stands for pressure, iso means same. It is a process during which the pressure of the system is kept constant. It is known as isobaric process. So that's all for today, students. Now your homework is you have to do NCERT exercise question number 1 and 2. So note down these questions. If you have any doubt or queries, you can ask me on my email ID. Thank you and have a nice day.